and it attracted Nigerians from diverse spheres of life, who made very succinct, genuine, fundamental, and patriotic contributions to issues of governance, to issues of nationhood. You know? And of course, they were there for about 3 months. I can't remember I mean, for a fairly long period of time. And the reports were not only given, they were collated, they were edited, and they were submitted to the federal government for implementation. So when you look at the resources, the human and financial resources deployed to that confer, one will expect a government to at least not only look at this at the report, but to implement a sizable chunk of that report. But it wasn't done. So I want to consider it as another colossal waste on Nigeria. Whatever reasons Jonathan will now adduce for not implementing it, I don't think it will hold water. I want to believe that a leader should have the will, the courage, the candor to implement even very, very hard decisions. A leader is known by his ability to implement tough and very hard decisions. That is the hallmark of leadership. So I wouldn't know what kind of what excuse he will now give today for not implementing, even if he had implemented 2 out of 3 main features of that confer. I think it would have added to his profile as a leader.
Now,
so,
thank you, Shola. Dayo, why I don't implement 2014 confer report coming from Goodluck Jonathan? What is your take on this statement? Or maybe he must have adduced some reasons why he did not implement the confer. What's your take on that?
If you tell me, if I tell you it's something like a regret, you may believe or not believe it. You must have been regretting it. One of the reasons he gave, I heard Shola was saying that one of the reasons he gave was time. But if my records, if I'm correct with my record, the report was submitted August 2014, and he left. The election was said. Well, I think the handing over was May 2015. May 2015. My brother, almost a year, if not 10 months. I want to say, like Shola said, it is lack of political will and nothing else. Well, the entire report would not have been implemented, but if he had started, it would have been kudos for him. And one of the things, maybe the lack of insecurity, the lack of the state of insecurity we have in this country now, maybe because one of the recommendation is the division of power to states in terms of insecurity or security-wise, meaning that by now maybe we'll have been talking about state police. And maybe the spate of terrorism, banditry we now experience in this country, maybe we wouldn't have experienced it. I see it as a regret and lack of political will on his part and nothing else.
All right. Shola, let me come back to you. Now, can we now, if the president is saying, the former president is saying this kind of thing, surely it's a kind of regret on his part. But can we say that there are some forces that are beyond him that time that could have been the reason why he did not implement the confab report?
There is no, there can be no road without end, and there can be no will without challenge. So, a human being like Ashwadi Tinubu used to say that I expect everything, I expect nothing. I prepare for everything. I think I can't correctly quote what. So a man should expect everything.
I expect betrayals. I prepare for betrayals. And also prepare for forgiveness.
For forgiveness. A man should expect the best and worst of any situation. So if he was the president, for God's sake, for Canada, as president, there was no other person. The ultimate decision lied with him. Nobody should give excuses for leadership. You can't give excuses. I mean, we will not expect Buhari now, after leaving office, to start giving excuses. And we expect somebody like me to buy it. You are president, for God's sake. You take decisions. The ultimate decisions lie with you. The buck stops on your table. For him to have assembled Nigerians from all spheres of life to discuss issues of nationhood, spending public funds to do that, I'm not telling you that there will be forces. There's nothing good without forces. Even, I mean, every great man they were great because they had forces to contend with.
And challenges.
Jesus had forces to contend with, Muhammad had forces to contend with, Socrates had forces to contend with, you know, George Washington had forces to contend with. There is no great man that will not have forces to contend with. The ability to deal with those forces and challenges makes you a man, makes you a leader. So that's my, you cannot, there's no excuse, like I said. You know, I was not even going to, I was not even alluding to the reasons he gave me, time or whatever. You brought in, you assembled men, they came out with reports, and you had about a space of almost a year. At least he could have implemented some salient points, maybe 2 out of 10. That would have added to his profile today. So, no leader should give excuses for failing.
All right. Dayo, now offer to you. Let me ask this way. Now, can we say that the former president was fearful of some powers in the country, bearing in mind that the second term bid was just barely a year? Now, if he will go ahead and implement the confirmed report, do you think this would have helped him?
Okay, let me tell you one bitter truth. He may not want to tell us some truth.
Okay.
And he's been economical with the truth. Jonathan thought he would win the 2015 election. And maybe he would then implement the report. That was his thinking. But he, like I said, he's been economical with the truth. The other reason he gave was that the then speaker, Tambuwa, was already an opposition and all those kind of stuff. Like Shola said, we leaders, no matter either religious, political, social, the buck stops on the table. And so the good and the bad are alluded to you. Like I said, Jonathan must be regretting certain things. Aside the security thing, one of those powerful things that confab recommended was resource control. Take for instance, we have gold in Osun. Somebody can take license and from national. We don't have control over the gold we have in our land. Where is federal government's land? So maybe some of those things would have been addressed by now. If not addressed, maybe we'll have moved towards it. It is colossal waste of resources and human resources too, for Jonathan not to have even a step, not like I said, don't be the entire thing, but a step in the middle of that confab is a colossal waste of resources.
All right. Shola, do you think even if the former president decided to implement, do you think he will have succeeded in doing it in view of some cabals whose toes will have been stepped on in the country?
The president?
Yes.
You know one thing, to answer your question, I want to take you back to what, at the time when Obasanjo was president. That was a time when there was the windfall, oil. At the same time, the IMF was on his neck, on the country's neck. And he told the governor that I'm not going to share a penny of this thing. That I'm going to settle the IMF, conditionalities. There were opera, they were, even some. The party caucus were even telling you that that the governor can instigate impeachment. He said, "Go ahead and impeach me. Go ahead and do it." He said, "I'm not going to spend a dime of this thing. I'm going to share it. I'm going to use it," and he did it. That was
Leadership.
That's leadership. That is power. That's leadership. That's courage. Courage to take very hard decisions. That is the hallmark of
And at
leadership.
the appropriate time.
At the appropriate time. And look at, he did it and saved Nigeria. So a leader must be ready to face challenges and take decisions.
And stand by it.
And stand by it. So for just brushing aside, because of what he was president, he was, you see, at a time, a man, when a man, like I said, when a man grows up to 60 years, the moment a man crosses 60, is already in the conclave of elders. So I believe that a man at 60 should not even fear death anymore. A man at 60 is already an elder. And life, the views of a man at 60 should be different from the views of a man at less than 60.
Yes.
That's my personal philosophy. So, not talking of a leader of a nation. You take decisions as leader, because it is, at the end of the day, it is yours, it is your name. Everything approved, either in file or outside file, is approved in your name, and you answer for it. So, as long as a leader can serve all the alias of office, all the successes, all the glamour, everything, he should be able to serve all the pains, responsibilities, and failures of office, because the administration will not be judged by judged on the name of his VP or whatever. The administration will be judged on his name. So every leader should be able to leave that mark. Okay. That at the end of the day, I will be judged not by the action. I'll be judged by the actions of my subordinates.
Okay. All right, Dayo. Okay.
Do you know some youth parliament? Yeah. Do you know they confronted the current president, asking him to revisit the 2014 confab? Yeah. Do you know that confab will have solved so many socio-economic problems of this country? Today. Many of these things we are facing. Do you know, if that step had been taken, like Shola said, he may not have implemented the 10, the 12, the 15, but just two. Let's just be
it's a step forward.
It's a step forward. Just the socio-economic problem, the insecurity, devolution of power, resource control.
What this would have been solved?
It would have been a step further, and it would have written his name in gold.
Okay, Shola, if the recommendations of the confab is so important and maybe very, very good for the growth of this country, why is the current administration looking the other way?
That wasn't the same thing. Leadership. Nigeria has always had leadership problems, these are challenges that are even self-inflicted. Like I said, I see no reason why Buhari cannot implement the confab report. If he's genuinely interested in Nigeria, if he's, as a leader should think the country should be his own symbol.
Yes.
You look at the country as your symbol.
Like US is US first.
US first. I mean, when the American astronaut, Neil Armstrong, landed on the moon, the first thing he did was to plant the American flag. He was not looking for gold, he was not looking for diamond, he was not to stuff into his pocket. You can imagine somebody leaving the earth. That's about 30 million miles. And landing, I mean, living for a perilous destination, a suicide destination. And the first thing he did on getting to that moon was to plant the American flag. So, until leaders in Africa think of their own country, not themselves, not their tribe, not their religion, until we have Nigerian leaders who think Nigerian
first,
the Nigerian must think Nigerian.
And not their friends, their family, the tribal, the religious.
All right, Shola, thank you. Dayo, what will you advise the current administration in this regard?
Let me tell you the truth. Many of those things being clamored for now are contained in the confab report. State police, federalism, devolution of power, resource control, they are all in the confab report.
It should be given the force of law.
That is it. Like Jola said, look, until Nigeria have leaders that think about the development of this country and not about the family, the friendship, the religion, the
forget about it. in fact, just in addition, I see no reason why, that's my own personal opinion, there is no reason why a governor or a president should make the state house the center of his own faith. I'm talking of religion. No government house should have either church or mosque. If Dayo is a Christian and he comes out today, let him go and worship his church in his own church in Indonesia. That's where it belongs. Don't let him bring religion to state house. The state house should be devoid of any religious artifacts. Let every leader of this country be devoid of religious, tribal, cultural sentiments at all. Let them think Nigeria
first. And let all other things come last. That's the truth.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. Let's move to the second topic of our discussion on the program for today. Inter-Party Advisory Council to UN, vote buying violence hindering Nigeria's political development. Shola, why is IPAC writing to UN? Do they expect them to come and...
Well, the propriety of writing should not even be subject to debate anyway. But I know that whether anybody writes or not, Nigeria is in the global fair. There's nothing you do today in the world of today that is hidden from the eyes of the world.
Okay.
So this is why we say those who have the responsibilities of leading this country should think deeply, should be discretionary in whatever actions they take. At this century, when you see politicians buying votes, using public funds to even buy votes, it's marks of so many terrible things about Nigeria. They are just sinking this country deeper into the abyss of ignominy, of non-recognition, of looking at Nigerians as not fit to even be a nation. What should sell a leader is the quality of his leadership. But the problem is that you also want to ask, why are people receiving the money? Poverty has assumed such an alarming proportion that people have lost their sense of belonging, their pride, their future, and a lot of people have been so dehumanized that psychiatrically they are unbalanced. So they can, when poverty is so much, a man cannot even think straight. And unfortunately, the political elite are so pauperized Nigerians that they can't even think positively. They can't reject selling themselves, their integrity and their future. That's the way I now see vote buying. And it's something that is as cancerous as even rigging itself and violence itself. It's another version of violence now. It's another version of political violence or rigging of elections. You now buy votes with 5,000, 10,000. And whoever does that has willingly enslaved him or herself. But the question is, why does it persist? It persists because of the level, the endemic poverty. Endemic poverty which has led to loss of integrity by an average Nigerian. And if that trend continues, well, I wouldn't know what kind of democracy or democracy concepts we are selling. Maybe we are selling a democracy concept of, if you are selling a democracy concept of vote buying, it means we are even outside the democratic norms. Because democracy is government, entrenchment of people's views and influence on governance.
All right. Thank you,
You raise a point. Why the IPAC?
Yes.
Okay.
Why?
IPAC they are only trying to assist the foreseen imminent collapse of democracy in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And United Nations and all those, so they are partners in progress. They are partners. And Nigeria is looked in Africa is being looked upon. All other countries in Africa are looking upon Nigeria. And the failure of Nigeria is the failure of the entire Africa. That is the bitter truth. And you see, IPAC is only being, is raising they are raising, because if where would Nigerians go over 20 million if the country collapses? And so that's IPAC is saying is warning. United Nations, don't close your eyes. Imminent collapse of democracy in Nigeria is at hand. If we continue in vote buying, to get to an extent, Nigerians will not come out to vote. We have to roll. What is in coming out to vote? And if you are not very careful, voters will rely solely on what they can take and not who is there. And that's why the IPAC is making the noise.
And you know what?
Yeah.
You know, whatever anybody thinks, you know, I know that even the European nations are divided about the future of Nigeria.
Okay.
There are some that want Nigeria to remain so pauperized, so undeveloped, so rudderless, so that they can go to fester, yes, on their economic gains. But then, when everything collapses, even those Europeans will regret, because even their investments, the so-called investments from which they are siphoning the resources of Nigeria, will no longer stand. And this is why men of goodwill, men of vision are calling for a reordering of things. We can't just continue like this. We can't continue like this. Nigeria's, by virtue of our population and resources, is a power. The only thing lacking is the leadership to harness these resources and deploy it effectively for the progress of the nation. Nigeria has no choice. Do you know that Nigeria LNG, the LNG that is just wasting away, Nigeria has the highest number, the highest quantity or whatever of LNG gas in the world.
Yes.
There are a lot of minerals that are peculiar to Nigeria that are not found anywhere. Nigeria, the power sector, we have everything that can make Nigeria power sector not only stable in Nigeria, but be able to even sell power to so many African countries. We have the hydro, we have the thermal, we have whatever you can think of. Yet, Nigeria is in darkness. Our oil is there, yet we cannot even service domestic consumption. So, look, it will get to a level that those who think they can benefit from the popularization from the underdevelopment of Nigeria will find it.
All right, Dayo. Now, if things are going like this, now the IPAC has raised issues.
No, there is alarm.
There is
an alarm. Yes.
Okay. Now, do you think how do you see the United Nations coming to intervene in the affairs of Nigeria?
It's not about we call it. We even the country is already intervening through the Electoral Act. But we just pray that the Electoral Act can be religiously implemented. And one of the section of that which handle the violence at polling units.
Okay.
That the electoral officer can cancel, the president can cancel an election that is laced with violence.
Okay. In a particular unit.
In a particular unit. And so I know political parties will be very careful. Even anyone who may want to precipitate violence where he or she is not popular, I know people will be. I know the voters will be at hand to continue such. Look, we will kill you here. We know ourselves here. So let me tell you one bitter truth: if we succeed in implementing religiously the 2022 Electoral Act, will end up curbing certain things. Then, as far as the United States is concerned, look, politicians will start learning their lessons when they are not allowed to enter countries. When they feel they can hide with their families. When United States starts blacklisting politicians, they will know what to do in their own country.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
So let me come this way.
I will have
Now, the Dayo has raised a very vital point, referring to the Electoral Act. But do you see the Electoral Act being implemented in a religious manner, going by our experience, and our attitude to law in this country?
Well, I don't want to be pessimistic, maybe totally pessimistic about it. You know, all hopes are not totally lost in this country. We still have a leverage. You know, maybe some people will still believe that Nigeria can be better. But all the same, it depends on the government. If President Buhari still has a measure of course, I want to say patriotism in him, that no matter what, after leaving office, at least I will still be a reference point, one way or the other. Then the zeal by which the Electoral Act was passed as amended, then the same zeal should be used, should be employed to implement the provisions of the Electoral Act. I believe that should be so. But what I'm just saying is that if the United Nations, that you said that United Nations, calling on the United Nations to intervene, the United Nations will not intervene in the affairs of any country. The United Nations, at worst, if the worst comes to the worst, the United Nations will look after his own citizens resident in that country, to save his own citizens, to save his own ass, rather than intervene in a country that has chosen to be lawless or has chosen to not to have any leader. So I believe that another safety valve is that Electoral Act, but that safety valve is in its implementation. Because when you look at the provisions, it has actually caused, it has actually addressed some fundamental issues, fundamental flaws. Right now, it is almost impossible for politicians to rig elections. And a friend of mine said, well, maybe that was why they just started into this vote buying now. If they cannot rig, they can just buy. So, but I believe that the government should be bold enough, should be man enough to implement the Electoral Act, so that we can have a leverage for a democratic structure. Okay, let me go to that.
Let me first come back. Shola say, you said something the other time, affairs of any country. Do you see anything coming out of this alarm being raised?
No, not the direct. I'm not talking of direct intervention now. I've just raised the point. Why not the former Senate President? What is passing through now? Do you ever believe we can pass through what is passing through now? It's a lesson to our politicians. They will learn.
It's passing because UK, England has a law. England,
that is the truth.
England is ruled by law, not by men.
That is it.
It's ruled by law, not by men.
So well, he may succeed to our politicians that in all, let's commend the judiciary. Until in the time past, I am not sure we have a very bold judicial system that can throw away a presidential court case like they just did on Section 84, Section 12. That if a president, if a law you have already assented to, and you're bringing people out of the court, you're already part of the decision by assenting to it. So
how do we go from here? Vote by violence. For how long are we going to contend with these issues in our political system?
Our political system is what it is today because the relevant arms, the relevant features of ensuring rule of law have been lacking, have been condescending. There are people perpetually harassed, perpetually plummeted. That look at what happened to the immediate past CJ. That it now took to a kind of rights petition, which I believe was a vote of no class can have that kind of a thing.
They should be conscious of their name,
of their future, their integrity, and those of their families. The names of their family. I think that should guide our leaders.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll move straight to So the topic of our discussion for today, and that has to do with the threat by the EFCC that landlords giving out houses to Yahoo boys risk prosecution. Let's look at this state. Do they even have right in the first instance to prosecute landlord for giving house to?
You know one thing about
the Yahoo boys.
One thing I found with the EFCC. Apart from going off the mark most of the time. They seem to be confused on what exactly they should do, on what even if they know what to do, on what priorities. What should be the priorities of their functions? That's why they goof. Even the prosecutions they feel they are making, at the end of the day they end up throwing them out. Because in most cases the body does not even know how to prosecute his own case, how to plead his own case. So that's why I felt a lot of their litigations, lasting for so terrible time, so long a time that that Nigerians even often forget about whether there is any case at all. At the end of the day, some cases are just thrown out. So I think NEFCC should sit down and reorder its own functions and priorities. I'm not saying that frowning at landlords who give out houses to Yahoo boys, is good. I mean, it's bad. No, but I'm saying that there are instant laws. There are instant laws to even check maybe housing. I mean, the rent or the rent laws.
Okay.
But we all know what has even brought Yahoo and has made it such a monster now in Nigeria. We all know those things that even brought Yahoo at all to make it a big business in Nigeria should be looked at first. Why do we have Yahoo boys? Why do we have an upsurge of Yahoo boys in Nigeria today? Why are youths running away from Nigeria? Those who cannot practice Yahoo, they run away. Why are they? Nigerian youths are not traveling. They are not traveling abroad again. No, not traveling. Remove that word traveling. Okay. They are running abroad. Running abroad.
Different.
Yes, traveling, going abroad. We used to go abroad in those days. You go abroad and you come back. But they are running away from Nigeria. Why are they running away from Nigeria? Those are issues those are fundamental issues that bodies like EFCC and others should first of all look at. Why are youths interested in Yahoo? Not all of them who are in Yahoo wanted to be Yahoo boys. But the economic situation has made it practically impossible for a starter to even live. Even those of us working, those of you working, what you get, can it even service you? The value of your currency is dwindling by the day, and you are expected to live legitimately. What kind of legit can you propound in a situation where hope is almost lost? So this is why a lot of them now go into Yahoo. That job they cannot find, business ventures they cannot establish. The economic situation the atmosphere is so harsh. Just somebody was telling me that he just bought a diesel for 500,000 naira, and he cannot even predict what kind of profit he will make out of it. So it's a very precarious situation. But I want to believe that landlords giving out. There are mechanisms anyway. A landlord should be able to scrutinize who that person is.
So like this written on the face.
Look,
I see some people. I don't want to. I see that proceed by years being tested in the court of law. Okay. Although Section 3 of the Advanced Report 2006, it is so specific. It's for the hospitality industry, the hoteliers. Okay. That's Section 3 of the Advanced Report of 2006. But for landlords, how do I determine who a Yahoo person is? Somebody comes around and want to.
They have said that that if somebody that Yahoo boys used to pay 5 years upfront, they do this thing. So,
but if I tell you my house I'm giving you for 2 years, and normally 2 years rent.
Yeah. Okay.
and the answer is a Yahoo boy, how do I determine? I know, like I said, it's going to be tested in the court of law.
Yeah, okay.
Is Yahoo written on the face of anybody? How do you determine who Yahoo boys is?
Okay.
But see, the EFCC was just trying to use the section 3 of the Advanced Fraud and Other Offences Act of 2006 to want to cow landlords, to want to subject landlords to, I don't know, how do I describe it now? To pains. And except, like I said, it's tested in the court of law, the EFCC will keep on.
It's even a breach of fundamental
I'm telling you.
human rights.
okay.
But as a landlord, I have it's my house. I can accommodate whatever I want.
Okay, now.
So
let's look at it this way.
Yes.
If the EFCC is now coming out to issue threat on the landlord,
Yes, it's a threat, as well said.
Based on non-existent law, like you said, that the law cover only the hoteliers.
Oh, the hospitality industry. That's what Section 3 said of the Advanced Report.
Don't you think the EFCC is overwhelmed by the activities of they are doing that out of frustration, or they are overwhelmed by the activities?
If they are overwhelmed, a body should always be proactive, should always devise means of getting out of problems. I've said it that there are fundamental problems bedeviling Nigerians. I said Nigerians are running out rather than traveling out. These issues are there. How many jobs have been provided Nigerians now? You know, Nigeria has a population of about 200 million, isn't it? Or
yes,
more than that.
200 million.
And a sizable chunk of that population, maybe about 40% now, are youths. Nigeria. So any economic policy, any social economic policy should be youth oriented. Any government at whatever level should first of all look at the youths. When you're talking of schools, you have to look at the youths. When you're talking of health facilities, you have to look at the youths. When you're talking of social empowerment, you have to look at the youths. When you're talking of employment, you have to look at the youths between the ages of 20 and 40. Any policy of government that does not take that bracket into consideration is a failure, and the problem cannot be solved. We are having problems of terrorism, having problems of banditry, because successive administrations have failed to take care of the young ones.
It is very unfortunate. We are quick to forget issues.
Okay.
I am not sure our government has not forgotten the NEWSROOM of 2020. It's a time bomb. Youths and idle hands is no doubt a double workshop. And government must be proactive now. And their future, yes, public enlightenment.
You know, there are people who are saddled with the job of seminars from orientation, turning away the minds of the people from fraud.
Okay.
So all those people should do their jobs. I have said it. The legendary Obafemi Awolowo said something before he died, that the youth that you have failed to train will not make you and your children
happy. Will not make you rest.
He has said it. He said several years ago.
And it's coming to pass.
Now.
Yes, no.
Why they must be asked, those who are in position of authority and privilege, they must be asked the question, why are they interested in making Nigerians poor? These are the questions we should ask our leader. Why are you interested in making Nigerians poor? Why can't you empower the ordinary Nigerians so that you can have peace? But we have a lot of people who have stolen Nigeria blind. You can imagine a civil servant, a public servant, who is an accountant and who cannot account your naira, and is the chief accountant of Nigeria.
All right.
So, and then a youth will see that, and you think it will remain legitimate.
It's just about going to prison and coming back.
Dayo, before we round up, quickly, what can we do? What can EFCC do aside from issuing threats to the landlords?
So I just said it.
Yeah.
Public enlightenment, workshops, seminars. That's what we can do. And this we have been through. We already asking the youth to get away from Yahoo. But then, like we kept on hammering on this program, we must be seen, not to be seen, to be arresting level of unemployment. among the youth. Aside that, level of poverty is the cost of goods. Is it the petrol? Is it the gas? Is it whatever?
Everything.
Nothing is not at cutthroat now. The leadership must be sincere, must be genuine in act of governance, so that pains can be reduced. Let me tell you, but for the grace of God, people can go out of their way to do anything now. With the level of impoverishment we have in the country now. More so, thousands of youths who are out of school, who graduated, and
Several years.
nothing, they have nothing doing. So that's why when you see them, why we are not encouraging them, when you see them with their phones and laptop, you know that that one is not doing anything but into Yahoo.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for coming on the program. Shola, I appreciate your coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
It's my
much.
pleasure.
Dayo, thank you for coming on the program.
I'm always in the newsroom, so thank you for thanking me.
Thank you. Viewers at home, this is where we are going to round up the program for today. Tomorrow is another day for a fresh edition of the program in the newsroom, where you meet another of my colleagues. Till tomorrow, I am Kayode Adebayo. Bye-bye.
Mondays through Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't afford to miss it.